Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the TV shows that you could ever want to watch. I watch all the true crime. I've been watching a lot of true crime lately. All the Sister Wives. I'm binge watching Sister Wives. Big Brother. I watch all the reality TV, the Housewives. I was going to say all the sisters, the Sister Wives. I watch it all. I watch all the limited series on Netflix and Apple and all that kind of stuff. I'm watching so many shows right now. But I also have a shark movie club over here. I also have a nostalgic movie club over on my Peter Does Stuff channel called Peter's Movie Club, if you guys want to watch that. This week's movie is Showgirls, because I am currently in Las Vegas, which is why I am pre-filming this video so that I can post this on Monday, because I already watched this week the world's worst shark movie. So, over here on Peter's Shark, well, this isn't called Peter's Shark Club, this is just called The Shark Club. Over here on the Shark Club, every week I am picking a shark movie for us to watch. A really bad one, a really good one, a really stupid one, a really scary one. I want to watch all the shark movies. So for those of you that do not know, I have this horrific fear of sharks, okay? I actually believe like in another life, I was killed by a great white shark or something like that. Because ever since I was very, very young, I have been terrified of sharks, but equally fascinated with sharks. I love shark movies. I mean, you know what's interesting about it is that I don't love watching like documentaries about sharks. I don't love like watching Shark Week stuff. I'm not really interested in all that. I'm more interested in the world around a shark movie, if that makes sense. And sometimes the worse they are, the better. And sometimes the worse they are, the worse they are. And that would be this week's movie. So this week's movie, for last week's movie, and in a second I'm going to announce that it's a double feature. It's a double feature this week. So in just a second I'm going to announce the movies for this week. But last week's movie was Mississippi River Sharks, and it was one, I think it came out in 2017. It was a made-for-TV movie, and it was on Tubi if you want to watch it. I could not stop watching it. I actually watched it in two parts because I got so tired and I was like, okay, you're just going to save this for the next night. And so I watched the last of it last night. But I kind of couldn't stop watching it. It's a movie that I think most people will be like, okay, this is so dumb, I'm going to stop watching it. But I kind of couldn't stop watching it. So it's about this town in, I think it's in Mississippi or Louisiana or so, I don't know, it was Mississippi. Anyway, I'm showing my ignorance right now. Anyway, it was just some small town in the South, okay? And they're having this like catfish contest. And so it's like, whoever can catch the biggest catfish wins this huge trophy. And the whole thing is being hosted by Jason London, who is playing himself, who's not even that really famous of an actor anymore, right? So he's playing himself in this movie. Interestingly enough, his twin brother, Jeremy London, is also listed on the credits, but I never once saw Jeremy London in unless they both played the same part. But they're listed, like, one's listed as, like, a guest starring role, and the other... So, I don't know how that worked, but I only saw... He plays Jason London. He doesn't play his brother, Jeremy London, or Jordan London, or Jeffrey London. I don't know what his twin brother's name is, but anyway. I will tell you an interesting fact, though. So, I was like... I think I said last week that Jeremy London was in the video, or in the movie. And so when I was watching it, and I was watching the credits, they're both in there. And so I like looked up Jason London's twin brother. And you know, like when you Google stuff, it comes up. One of the things that came up was like Jason London have identical twin brother. And it said, yes, Jeremy. And it said that Jason played Joey Lauren Adams' boyfriend in Dazed and Confused, which is like one of my all-time favorite movies. And then it said, but Joey Lauren Adams played Jeremy London's girlfriend in Mallrats, which I also love that movie as well. And I was, you know, Clerks and Mallrats and all that. And so I was like, but this is where my mind went, right? I was like, what happened to Joey Lauren Adams? Oh my God, I used to love her back in the day. Do you guys remember her? So then I fell down this rabbit hole of looking at, while I'm watching this movie, of course, this fantastic movie called Mississippi River Sharks, which I'm looking up the Wikipedia and where Joey Lauren Adams is, and she's actually going to be in this movie coming out this next year. So anyway, that was interesting to find out. But so I watched this movie, and the movie is about this fishing contest that they're having, okay, on the Mississippi River. And, which is like the smallest part of the Mississippi River. It actually didn't look like it was the Mississippi River. Well, maybe like a small cove of the Mississippi. The whole thing is filmed like literally in two parts, okay? The whole thing is filmed at this marina, a very small marina. And then the other part of it is filmed like alongside the road. They keep on doing the same roadside scene. It's like this bridge and then this off to the bridge, and then they film it like, and I don't know what, I looked up to see what the budget was of this movie, because the budget must have been like $500 or something like that, because I mean, I could have filmed it with my phone, you know, and probably done better than this. The sharks were so ridiculous. They weren't real at all looking. I mean, like at one point, and I even posted this on my Instagram, a shark like goes through a guy, and so the shark's like wiggling while he's like in the middle of this guy. It's so bad, you guys. I mean, it's so bad that it's supposed to be that. I mean, it's supposed to be like making a joke of shark movies, but like it doesn't even hold as like that. It's like a parody. So the whole thing starts with this guy and this girl, and they're on this paddle boat going down the Mississippi River, and they're on a Tinder date, and she's asking him, do you like the shark bite movies? And the shark bite movies are supposed to be kind of like Jaws, so to speak, right? And he's like, no, and she's like real into them, and so he's like, no, and then he goes outside because he's like not interested in her at all, and so he starts hitting on another girl. Well, she gets pissed off. Well, then he comes over and he's like, I just don't think this is working. I think I'm just gonna mingle. And she's like, okay. Well, at the same time that she says that, on the paddle boat thing, all these sharks start coming up onto the boat, right? Like that would really happen. And then they eat this guy, and then because she of course watched all the shark bite movies, so she knows what to do. So she hits the shark over the head and the nose with the stick. So anyway, then that's how the movie starts. And so you know about the shark bite movies, and then this guy's watching it, and Jason London is the star of the shark bite movies, but only 1, 2, 4, and 5, and 6. Okay, and so I don't know why that would make him a perfect celebrity to host a fishing contest, because he knows so much about sharks, but they're fishing for catfish, so it doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, so he's the celebrity host of this catfishing thing. And then there's this guy that owns the hardware store, and he's just kind of real sad, and Sam Shepard kind of type looking guy. I actually thought he was kind of hot, this older guy. He like played this girl's dad, and he owns a hardware store. And so his daughter comes home, and she was like top of her class, a marine biology student, but she decided to switch her major to business because she wanted to help her dad run the hardware store in this small ass town, right? Okay, because you need a business degree for that, right? And so she decided to switch from major marine biology, this college that she went specifically to that for, to business to help her dad with this store, okay, the general store. I mean, it's so bad, right? And so then this guy that he's had a crush on her since high school, and he knows how smart she is because he went to see her science fair project or something like that. I'm so confused. And so he goes over and he like starts talking to her, and he's like real excited to see her. And he's like, oh my God, you're back from college. And then her dad's pissed that she's back from college and pursuing business and all this kind of stuff. And then there's this reporter, but her cameraman gets eaten by the shark. Because as soon as you even like step 1 inch into the water, the shark comes out and gets you. You don't have to be in the water, okay? You can just be standing by the water and the sharks will get you. And the sharks, I don't even know like if they're foam or if they're animated. I mean, they're just bad. The sharks are just bad. And at one point, they have all these sharks like swimming constantly, like you just see their fins. You see all these sharks, and they look like actual fins in the water, and you can see the trail of the water swimming in this like by the marina. And I'm like, this is like, they have a bunch of people like swimming in the water with those things on their back. And I'm just imagining these people swimming in the water while they're shooting this whole thing. So then all these people are getting killed on the river while they're doing this fishing thing. They actually never show the fishing contest, okay? They never show all these people out there on the fishing boats and stuff like that. They didn't even have the budget for that. They always say, like, there's so many people fishing in this contest. There's like 35 or 40 people, like boats, okay? 35 or 40 boats, but you never see the boats go out. You never see them fishing. You never see anybody. But what is so funny is while you're watching it, like, they'll be filming like a major scene, like of this guy just being eaten by a shark. But in the background, there's like a major road, and they don't stop the road for filming, so there's just cars going by in the background. It's so bad, you guys. But I was so invested in the love story of this girl back from college and this guy that went to her science fair project that I just couldn't stop watching it. So anyway, they come up with all these different ideas, and Jason London ends up getting, they're like, Jason, you're supposed to be the hero. You were in all these shark bite movies, but he can't be really bothered with any of it. And then he decides he wants to be a hero, and then he gets eaten by the shark. Everybody gets eaten by the shark in this movie, except for, like, the main characters. And then at the very end, the nerdy friend of the love interest science fair project guy, he gets eaten by a shark, but he survives it. And so he also is obsessed with these shark bite movies. So at the very end, the guy and the girl kiss and all this kind of stuff. And then at the very end, the nerdy guy is going to be the apprentice for a hardware store. Because, of course, a hardware store needs an apprentice. Not an employee, but an apprentice. So he is working now as the apprentice for the hardware store, and the girl goes to leave with her dad, and he leaves the store to this guy to watch while he's gone. And the girl from the original scene, the Tinder date, she walks in, and the Shark Bite movie's on in the background, and then they bond over the Shark Bite movies and all this kind of stuff. It was stupid, you guys. It was really, really bad, but I will say I'm glad I watched it. I kind of like the really stupid shark movies. I don't know what it is about it. I cannot stop watching it. I can't stop watching the stupid-ass shark movies, but I kind of live for them at the same time. So that was this last week's movie, Tennessee Shark, no, Mississippi River Sharks, 2017. It's on Tubi if you want to watch it. So I was like, okay, this movie was so bad. We've got to pick something really, really good. And when I started this movie club, I was like, I thought about, because like I have a true crime book club, and when we started the true crime book club, you know, we did like In Cold Blood by Truman Capote, which was like the book that set off the true crime genre. I think our first book actually was the Anne Rule book, Stranger Beside Me or whatever, about, anyway, you know. So we wanted to do like canon true crime books. So when I started this, I thought, well, I should do canon like shark movies, you know, but then I was like, F it. I'm going to do whatever I want to do over here. But I feel like I picked such a bad movie that we kind of need to do some canon movies over here. So for this week, I've decided, and you know, interestingly enough, I watch all these movies every summer, and I don't think I've watched them. I think one of them was in the background one time while I was doing something, but I haven't watched any of these movies this week, or this summer. And so I picked Jaws 1 and Jaws 2. And I'm really, really excited about it. So it's a double feature. Now, I feel like the Jaws, you know, franchise, I've watched them so much. In fact, I watched them so much as a kid. I think it was like the very first like scary movie I ever saw, which is why I'm like kind of terrified of it. But when I first started watching it, like my dad, to get me out of the pool, would go, nah, 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 nah. Okay. So that's why I originally started watching these movies, but then I got fascinated and equally scared of sharks as well. The Jaws movies still to this day scare the hell out of me. I mean, I'll tell you, I'll watch it and it will still scare me. Jaws 2 is probably my favorite out of the franchise. I don't know why, just because it's a group of friends and there's something different about it. Jaws 1, I feel like I've seen so many times. I think it takes itself very seriously, which it should. It was so well done. Jaws 3 that takes place at SeaWorld or whatever is so stupid with the mom from My So-Called Life, and I love it, but I remember seeing it in the movie theater with my dad, and we walked out. It was in 3D, and I remember wearing 3D glasses, and he was like, that's the first time I've ever heard a shark growl. And then the fourth one is like a return to the original family. Well, the brother is supposed to be in the Jaws 3, but it's okay. And then the final one is with Michael Caine, and then the mother from the original Jaws, and then they're fall in love, and the sharks, like, of course, hunted them to the Bahamas and stuff like that. I feel like Jaws 1 and 2 kind of go together, and then Jaws 3 is a standalone, and Jaws 4 is kind of like a return to the original, but it's so bad. But we will watch that eventually. I will say this before we get in these movies this week. If you have never read the original Jaws book by Peter Benchley and you're a reader, it is fantastic. I read it several years ago for a readathon that I was doing on BookTube. And I read all books that were like book to movie adaptations. And I had heard about the book Jaws, but I thought it was so similar to the movie. It is not similar at all. The basic story is there, but there's so much more to the movie or the book that explains. If you read the book, it won't like, it's not like a better or worse kind of thing. It like adds more to the movie. It's kind of like the backstory. Like the mafia is involved. There's an affair that occurs in the book Jaws that if you read the book first, it's like the movie is a dumbed down, the movie is all about the special effects. It's a dumbed down version of the book. The book actually explains a lot of more of the interpersonal relationships between people. It is fantastically done, and it's very, very scary. I can remember the first page of it, and it's talking about the shark moving through the water, and it's terrifying. And it makes total sense to me why the book and the movie became so famous. So anyway, so the movies for this week are Jaws 1 and Jaws 2. Jaws 2 is obviously the sequel. Jaws 1 is the original, and Jaws 2 is where all the friends go out on the catamarans and the boats and stuff like that, and the sharks are trying to get them. So anyway, those are the movies for this week. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you going to watch them? Okay, now these are not available on Tubi, but I looked them up. They're available on multiple streaming apps, so they should be easy to find, and even clips of them are on, you know, YouTube and things like that. So anyway, let me know if you're going to watch in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.